The Diz Unplugged Universal Edition is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel. Visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Hey everyone, this is episode 8 of the Diz Unplugged Universal Edition. I am Craig Williams.
And I'm Sean Thompson.
And we are going to talk about a lot of Universal stuff today. Like we always talk about Universal stuff.
It's usually the main topic of our show.
It is, especially for this one. It's even more Universal than a normal Universal show.
Okay.
Well, there's multiple things we're not going to talk about. We're not going to talk about City Walk. We're not going to talk about Harry Potter. That's a lie, of course.
We're going to talk about Harry Potter.
Well, yeah, we have to.
Are we going to talk about
Harry
the
Potter.
kennels that live inside the parking garage?
I think we covered that on the last show.
I don't think we did because I went back to Universal and I still could not find them.
Well,
not that I was really
not
looking for them.
hard enough then. I mean,
Okay.
it's really easy to find them if you're looking. You just kind of got to look into your soul, and it'll
That's
be there.
weird. Okay.
Or you can just follow signs, ask a team member. That's kind of what they're getting paid for, is to answer.
Yeah, but then what am I
questions
going to
and
say
help.
when I don't have a dog in the car?
I don't.
Okay.
Bring in dog.
All right, I'll just find one.
Go to the pound. They're only like $12.
Is that how much a dog costs?
I don't know. I don't have one. Sure, if you get a
I feel
pit
like they're
bull,
more expensive than $12.
you get a pit bull.
You're offending people right now. You really are. Yeah, let's move on.
Okay. Well, today on the Diz Unplugged Universal Edition, we're going to talk about rides that are so bad, just so terrible that it makes them good.
Yeah, because there's like this weird spectrum, right? So when something approaches so bad,
Yeah.
it kind of like reverts itself and becomes good again.
Well, it absolutely does.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like the biggest thing is movies. Like you're watching a terrible movie.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, you're like, well, I really enjoyed it. I know how bad it was, but I like it. Kind of. I mean, the one that comes to my mind is Armageddon. Like,
Okay.
It is just a terrible movie. Michael Bay at his, potentially his absolute worst, just throwing in random explosions, making sound happen in space whenever that can't happen.
But you secretly love Michael Bay movies.
Oh, I love Michael Bay movies.
Maybe it's not secret then.
It's not.
Maybe you tweet about it.
I probably have in the past,
Okay.
but no, I love Michael Bay movies, but I can admit how terrible they are.
They are
But
terrible.
they're so terrible that they're good.
I can't think of an example for me.
Okay.
All the movies I love are fantastic.
I don't know about that. I could
While you were
argue
sleeping?
that. I could argue that.
Sandra Bullock's finest work.
wholeheartedly.
All right.
What?
Maybe Safe Harbor. What was that movie? Safe Haven?
Safe Haven?
That was a quality movie.
I don't think you liked that movie.
No, I never watched the full thing.
Is that the one that we were watching on? Okay.
That is the Nicholas Sparks.
You know what?
Yeah.
Let's kind of get away from this part though, because it has nothing to do with
all right.
Universal
I guess
in
you're right.
essence. But what does have stuff to do with Universal is Harry Potter.
What's happening with Harry Potter?
Harry Potter. Well, lots of stuff's happening with Harry
Yeah.
Potter. Well, it's May, and May's a good time of year, just in general.
Okay.
And Harry Potter is coming. It's going to be opening up soon. The Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Diagon Alley.
I heard that once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we don't know when it's going to open up yet. They still
It's
haven't
still a
released
secret, and they haven't released
official
any dates.
date.
Every
But-
time I go past there, they seem to be very close.
Well-
I mean, there's signs up, there's street signs, the fountain. I think yesterday they just finished the. It's an earthquake. They just finished the Cupid Fountain
Yeah.
in the London Square area.
But no, that's kind of why I wanted to bring it up.
Sure.
Whenever we were there on, I guess that would have been Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks nearly finished at this point. It's getting to the point where hopefully things are going to start soft opening up really soon. Still don't even know about that. I mean, all the rumors are circulating to a mid-June to late June opening date.
Okay.
So
that means like soft opening would happen before then.
exactly,
Okay.
and even heard something along the lines of soft openings could happen for the shops and everything first, and then after that, the rides, depending on how stubborn they are. But who knows?
Do you mean stubborn or safe?
Stubborn.
Okay.
New technology never wants to cooperate.
Yeah, but I think I would rather them spend more time to make sure they're safe.
Oh, Lucy's behind us now.
Oh,
That's a disaster.
don't look, everybody.
but we'll get to Disaster too.
Okay.
But no, I just wanted to mention Diagon Alley. It's still nothing new.
Nope.
But however, in terms of Harry Potter, Zonkos is finally gone. Well, it was gone
Finally,
for a while.
yeah.
It's finally been born anew. Is larger than life Honeydukes.
It's huge in there now.
It is.
But I like it. Even though they have expanded it, it still felt crowded in there for me.
Well, that's because there was a lot of people.
There were a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I like the way they moved. They were cash registers to the very end of the room.
Mm-hmm.
So back, I'm having a hard time picturing the old store, Zonko's. But it's on that far left wall when you walk in there.
Well, Zonko's was just a nightmare. Like all that. It's very, very tight. I mean, you couldn't fit more than one person looking at each side of an aisle, and it was kind of just like separated in an L shape where the cash register is now. But
Sure.
then there was huge shelving going all the way up to the walls. I mean, it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
I'm glad they did keep the exterior of Zonko's, so it still looks like you're going to go into Zonko's, but everything inside is all Honeydukes, so that way you can rot your teeth even more now.
Sure.
In a bigger fashion.
And what I also like about the exterior, as you mentioned, the windows are still there.
Yeah.
Sometimes even improved.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if they're necessarily new, but the animatronics are all working.
Yeah.
And they look great. So
exactly. I think that's more or less a case of a lot of the animatronics in those windows, they just kind of let go into disrepair. And
Sure.
Sad, but now it's working. It's beautiful. It's great. I love it.
My favorite one was actually the Wizard's chess display, which is actually on the facade of the old Zonko's.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. They do an animatronic thing where the knight moves, and so does the bishop. What is it? Is it a bishop? I don't know. Whatever. I don't know chess.
The knight, and I think, was that the king or the queen? It was someone.
One of those royalty people.
I honestly wasn't. I was paying attention to the knight because the
knight's
horse's
the
head
coolest.
falls off
Exactly.
whenever it gets struck.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, you just spoiled alert for it, everybody.
I am so sorry, people. Don't go to Universal now. It's just over.
Craig's ruined it for you. Yeah.
But so
okay, so that's
kind of the news. It's not really news. In other news, Mardi Gras still happening.
It is still happening 4 months later.
I feel like we did this same exact update 2 months ago.
I think there's only 5 concerts left.
Yeah, but that's still too much. I don't even want to talk about it. I just wanted to make the joke that Mardi Gras is still.
Oh, it was hilarious. It really killed. Yeah. It is still happening.
So just like my jokes, so bad it's good.
Okay.
Is that a little strong?
Yeah, that's a stretch.
So, I mean, the whole reason why we're doing this segment, and we did just go in a giant circle, but the whole reason we're doing it is I think the main feedback we're getting from a lot of people is they enjoy us, except for the one guy on iTunes that wish you would stop laughing at your
Why are you
jokes.
referencing that?
Because
that was a private conversation. We did not need to bring it up now.
Oops, now we're laughing at ourselves.
I can't believe I'm laughing at my own jokes. Anyway, this is a good moment to say go on iTunes and leave us a review.
Yeah, because we're in our separate feed. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do so. That would help us out too.
Yeah.
But, no, so, lost my train of thought.
Well, what are we talking about this week? So bad, it's so good.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, everyone's always talking about, they love us, but they have no interest in going to Universal. And as a human being, I don't understand how that's possible. It's got everything. It's got Jurassic Park. It's got superheroes. It's got Harry Potter. It's got giant robots battling in Transformers. It's got Simpsons. It's got beer. It's got good food. It's got good family fun.
Yep,
it's
all
got
of those things.
Theodore Geisel.
I don't know that person. Is that Mark Twain?
Mark Twain, yes.
Okay. As a human, you said you can't understand that viewpoint. I totally understand that standpoint, and I was that way for a very long time. Mm-hmm. Universal just had no appeal to me, but now that's changing because I've gone for Harry Potter, I've gone for events, and now that I have annual pass, I've been going and I've been finding these things that aren't the major attractions. They're not the Hulk, they're not the Transformers ride, they're not these kind of big e-ticket things that Universal really advertises all over the place. But they're still things that are quality, and I think that people can go there and spend time with, and still enjoy themselves.
Yeah, but then I mean we have to admit it. There's things there that aren't quality either. Not that that's not true at Disney.
Sure.
As well. I mean I'm. Over the 25th anniversary of Hollywood Studios, we rediscovered the backlot tour.
We did rediscover it.
We did rediscover it with Catastrophe Canyon, and I mean, that's one of those rides that jumps into mind. Like, it is just so terribly bad, but it makes it good. I mean,
it's still a good time. I think there's a couple things that go against it, kind of the cheesy factor. There's some parts that aren't that great. I think also the length is kind of a deterrent. I mean, it's 48 minutes long, pushing an hour. But still, it's great. I mean, it's you would say it's probably so bad it's good.
No, and I mean, even the same for Universe of Energy with Ellen. I mean, I know you love...
I love that ride.
You love it.
Really love it. But I think it still fits in that category. It's part of what I love about it is the cheesy bad factor of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I made a joke that the animatronic looks like Owen Wilson.
Well, it does.
It absolutely does.
But that's Universal... It has that too. And, as much as we do love the park, we have to admit there are bad things in there. But then there are those ones that it's so bad it's good. And let's just jump right into it. And I know this one's almost offensive to you because you don't want to admit it's so bad.
No, I don't.
That it's good.
Because I love it. It's actually probably one of my favorite things in the Universal Studios park.
And what is that?
It's Lucy, a tribute. It's a tiny walkthrough thing, which I think... if I were to compare it to anything at Disney, it would probably be One Man's Dream, only in the exhibit style that it's presented in. It's just windows. It's very museum-like. You walk in. They have awards that were given to Lucy. They have dresses. They have memorabilia from her career. It goes into like show props. One of my favorite things they have at Lucy, a tribute, is the exact replica floor model of the soundstage where they filmed the show. And so you can look down on the soundstage, see where the audience sat for the different tapings. You can see how the rooms were laid out, how they filmed all these things. Okay.
I get you every part of it. Yeah. The one thing I think we need to stress for people who haven't been there, walkthrough is being very, very generous. It is... if you have really good eyesight, you can see everything from where you enter in the door all the way to the back.
That's a stretch.
I mean, you walk 20 steps and you're all the way around this place. Like, to have a tribute to an icon like Lucille Ball and then put it in this one tiny
I can get behind that. Yeah, sure. It should be a lot bigger. But I also think that if you're a real fan, you would definitely appreciate this. They have her costumes. They have her wig. I don't know if they're her wigs.
But that's where I'm trying to look at like the bad stuff in it, like the quiz that they have in there.
The quiz, yeah. They have little stations where you stand at a computer and answer questions about different Lucy episodes. And
it is, and it's about their travel across to California too. And you can miss each question like 5 times before you have to start all over again.
Yeah.
But I mean, you do it once, and it's not like there's multiple quizzes. There's not different ones. It's like this whole big quiz thing that you're going to do when you're in there, and then it's literally nothing. It's just dumb.
It is nothing. And I will also admit that I think for most people out there, this isn't going to be a big draw.
Yeah.
It's going to be, oh, it's raining, let's go inside. Or it's hot, I need air conditioning, so go inside the Lucy thing. Yeah. I'm sure that's how most people feel, but I think it's great, and it's attached to a gift shop, so they have Lucy merchandise, Lucy magnets, whatever.
And the people working in the gift shop spend more time actually watching the clips that roll continuously than
they don't acknowledge
doing
you.
Work.
They don't acknowledge you. They watch Lucy all day.
But you got to be honest, you do the exact same thing.
Absolutely, I would.
And I don't want to seem overly harsh on it. I love it in there.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of I Love Lucy growing up on Nick at Night. So it's one of my favorite classic shows, but it's bad. I mean, especially when you do compare it to like One Man's Dream, where they go all out explaining this whole long story. This is just
and that is a bad comparison. It's just I wanted to connect it with something in the same style, exhibit style.
Yeah. But in terms of comparisons, it's not even
pales. No.
But however, the next, I think we can move on to that.
And I'm good with Lucy. I mean, everyone knows that I love it.
Yeah, and it's. We consider it bad, but so bad it's good, but it's also the least one. This next one is bad, but some could argue that it's plain bad, and that's Twister. Ride It Out.
Yeah, make sure you say the title right correctly, because it's Twister ...
Oh.
Ride It Out.
I'm so sorry that I forgot about the
please remember the ellipses. Yeah, it's the most important part of the title.
And this ride, well, it just celebrated its Sweet 16 on Sunday.
You were so excited.
May 4th. I mean, well, it's a big deal. 16 years. It can now learn how to drive.
Sure, if attraction's good.
That's about all I got for it.
Yeah, that was great.
But Twister got brought in May 4th, 1998.
I read something very interesting that it was supposed to open in March.
Mm-hmm.
You know the story? It was supposed to open in March, but there were actually really bad tornadoes in Orlando.
Yeah.
So they pushed it back as to not be offensive or something. I don't know, out of respect.
Which is kind of funny, too, because then whenever you're in the queue, not in the queue, whenever you're in the show, they're talking about how, oh, we're filming Twister, and right whenever we're filming in Wakita, that's when all the Twisters ran through, and we had to delay filming.
Exactly, because they didn't want to hurt Helen Hunt.
But anyways, going back to it, so Twister, it's based off of the movie of the same name,
which I've never seen, actually.
How have you never seen it?
I don't know. I just haven't seen it.
Well, I mean, you got
that was
huge lineup of people. I mean, Steven Spielberg produced it.
Yeah.
He didn't direct it.
Okay.
Of course, he didn't direct this piece of crap. But he.
How have you not seen Twister? Oh, this piece of crap.
I mean, well, I went with my parents. I mean, it was the biggest thing. We always. I mean. Never mind.
The biggest thing in 1996. When was it? I don't know.
96 or 97.
Okay.
But I mean, you got Bill Paxton. You have Helen Hunt. You have Philip Sormy.
Philip Sormy.
Sorry, Dustin was saying it as I was about to say it, so it kind of made me sweet.
Sure.
But Philip Seymour Hoffman, the guy who plays Ferris Bueller's best friend.
Okay, I don't know his name, but I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, a huge soundtrack headline with Van Halen's "Shine On."
Sure.
Because that's your favorite Van Halen classic.
It is.
But no, and I'm sure there are other celebrities in there. Oh, Carrie Yules. Or Elwes, however we say it.
Yeah, Princess Bride.
He's the bad guy in it.
Why is there a bad guy in a movie about a twister? Shouldn't the twister be the bad guy?
No, if only.
I need to see this movie.
If only. It is
okay.
terrible. I mean, it was great back whenever you were kids.
What does he summon the twister?
No, he doesn't just summon the twister. They're just butting heads. They're scientists going back and forth on each other. It's Bill Paxton versus Carrie Elwes, and I mean,
there's never been a more intense battle.
There hasn't.
No.
I mean, you have to remember, the twister is classified as a severe storm.
On the what scale?
On the Fujita scale.
Fujita, yes.
The Fujita scale, also known as the finger of God. These are just some of the...
These are the lines I have a feeling. Okay, I'm missing out.
Well, yeah. If you would have paid attention during the show, which you didn't, well, the pre-show part. So you walk in, you walk past cows, and...
I saw them.
You know, everyone knows the flying cows from the movie, and you go in, and it starts with 2 screens, and on the left side is Bill Paxton, and on the right side is Helen Hunt.
Yeah.
And the reason for this is because whenever they were filming the movie... They got so fed up with each other and so disgusted that whenever it came time to do this attraction tie-in, they didn't want to film anything together. So they refused to be on camera together. So
I have a feeling I know whose fault that is.
Whose?
I would blame that on Bill Paxton.
No, not
you
Bill
think it's
Paxton.
Okay.
It can't be Bill Paxton.
Nah,
he was in
great.
Titanic.
I know.
He was. He's in so many classic James Cameron movies. But so they won't be on camera together, and you can still tell in the videos, even though they didn't film it together, they still have like the most hateful, disgusted looks.
Well, because I'm sure like the director's telling them, "Oh, Helen, look to the left because Bill's going to be on another screen," and so she shoots this like nasty look over to the the left. Yeah,
and that's whenever they say like just the dumbest lines, like
it's awful.
The F5 tornado, also known as the finger of God. Like
Bill's the worst.
How? I don't know who wrote these lines, but I hope they got fired.
I'm sure they have.
Burned away. But, you know, it's just bad stuff. Like, whenever you enter the second room, where it looks like a tornado just came through and ripped apart, and the floor's uneven, and there's power lines everywhere, and static, and it's windy and cold.
So that's so there's a pre-show, you watch that video, you know, you see them hate each other. Then you get released into another section, which is kind of like this long... kind of row of hallways.
Yeah.
And that's where it looks like you're walking through a house that's been torn apart.
Yeah.
There's crap everywhere.
It's even more terrible Bill Paxton lines, and that's where the scientists classify tornadoes as a severe storm. Like,
yeah. That's a shocker. I didn't know.
It reminds me of this terrible movie that was released in like 2008, Strange Wilderness with Steve Zahn, where they come up with all these animal references, like bears were named after a Chicago football team, and like that's kind of where they wrote the lines at.
Yeah. Is this a real movie, or did you just make it up?
It is a real movie.
Okay,
it's a terrible movie too. If only we had a whole terrible movie thing, but. So Twister, you go through the house, and then you enter the main room, which is set up in a fashion that looks like the drive-in scene from the movie, which you've never seen.
No, but I can appreciate it. I really, really can.
Yeah. And so they kind of recreate a tornado in there, and I don't know how it's done.
It's magic, I think.
It is?
It's movie magic.
It's movie magic.
Yeah. So you stand in 3 rows, very similar to the water Pearl Harbor scene in Backlot Tour is what it reminds me of. There's kind of tiered standing seating, and there's standing room. And then you stand up against like this railing, and then stuff happens. And the lights go out.
A tornado comes.
That's the stuff I was referring to. Yeah.
And they even have a stupid plastic cow that flies past it.
Oh, he's great. I love how you can still see the wires. He just flies right by, and everyone gasps. Actually, during the cow, everyone laughs. Because it's taken seriously.
It's a really bad ride. It's not a ride, it's an attraction.
Yeah.
It's a walk-through attraction, and it is really bad. However, you cannot go through it without just laughing at this stuff. I mean, it is hilarious.
It is hilarious.
Like, it is. I mean, it's almost my definition of so bad it's good. There's one that's like at the pinnacle.
Oh,
so
sure.
Bad
We have one that's way better, but this is very close to it.
I don't know anyone who hasn't been through it once that can't admit that it's bad, but they still love it. They still want to do it again. I mean, it's a rainy day attraction. Whenever it's thunderstorming, roller coasters are closed, you have nothing else to do, go on Twister.
I mean, I think they even tried to get rid of it at one point, and then there was like fan outcry, so they had to bring it back. They moved it seasonal.
I would have.
You would have changed yourself to Helen Hunt's director's chair.
I'll trust you on that, but well, yeah, Helen Hunt has a director's chair.
Yeah, because she was the director.
She's pretty important.
Yeah,
but no, I love Twister. And I can't wait to talk about the final one. But before we do that, I think that we're gonna need to take a quick break.
Oh, okay.
Just because I'm getting really parsed.
You're getting parsed?
Parched.
That's there you go. It's okay. It's the same thing.
Words. Now we're gonna do that, and then also whenever we come back, we're gonna announce the winners, their names.
Oh yeah.
That won the great grand prizes.
Because we lie every show about this. We say it's going to happen next week, and then last week we said it was going to happen secretly over email, and now we're just going to announce them.
And the fact is, we just really don't care that much.
Yes, we do. Don't say that. Okay, I don't care.
We'll be back. Okay. We'll be back right after this quick break. The Diz Unplugged Universal Edition is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect trip to Universal, whether you stay on-site at one of the world-class hotels or are in need of theme park tickets with round-trip transportation to and from Walt Disney World. Visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. So we're back, and
welcome back.
Welcome back.
Cotter.
And Cotter? Okay.
I think that was a show. I wasn't alive for it, but I think it was a show.
But, here at the Universal Edition, we're all about Harry Potter, so please make it Welcome Back,
Welcome Back Potter.
Yeah.
I remember that show.
Lightning can strike twice. Okay, so where were we? Oh, so bad it's good. If you're just tuning in.
So bad.
If you're just tuning in, if you're one of those people who decides to go on YouTube or on podcasts or on live stream and just click like in the middle point, say, I'll go from the middle and see if I like it from that. Before we talked about how Lucy, a tribute, and Twister, Ride It Out
yeah,
are so bad it's good. But we saved the ride/attraction that is so bad it's amazing for last, and that is
Poseidon's Fury.
Poseidon's Fury. Islands of Adventure.
Okay, so should I start talking about? Let's describe it.
Start talking about the good things.
Okay, so it's right out across from Mythos Restaurant, which is a fairly well-known restaurant. It's in the, I'm forgetting the name of the land. Lost Continent is the name of the land. So it's very, I don't know, like kind of not Merlin, but what's like fantasy kind of theme?
Well, yeah,
the whole land.
The Lost Continent it's kind of based off of old areas of fiction. So like this was the whole like the Greek gods, those tales, and then where Dragon Challenge and Flight of the Hippogriff was. That's where they are now. Sure. That used to be like part of Merlin and King Arthur, kind of that kind of theming. But this is the part that still survives. to this day.
And it thrives, I would say. It not only survives, but it thrives. And so, like, outside, you have this huge hand holding a trident to remind you that it is Poseidon.
Yeah.
Then there's, like, random feet from a statue that has been fallen down long time ago. I mean, it's been this. I think this has been here for what, 3,000 years?
If
right?
not.
I mean, oh my God,
not
so
more.
long, so old.
Okay, I think before we go even further, we have to say the exterior of this place is beautiful. It's massive. It is stunning. It is. It's Universal Creative at their best, showing off this whole landscape of what used to be, but that's kind of where it ends. I would continue a little bit further. Okay.
Yeah, I think the building looks great. It's got like these cool like fountains, faces with like spitting water. There's fire everywhere.
There's fire on the right, and then there's water on the left.
You're right, for symbolism.
And he spits it in a dolphin.
You're right, because dolphins equal water. I think. Fire equals what? What is the fire coming out of?
According to The Simpsons, dolphins used to roam on the land until we pushed them into the sea.
It just took one push?
It's probably a shove.
Okay. So is that enough for the outside? It's kind of this huge building. There's a queue that kind of goes through these gardens. There's fountains, water everywhere. Then you get inside, and it's extremely dark. Like, it took probably a good 2 minutes for my eyes to adjust.
Yeah.
It's like pitch black dark. Then you go through this queue, and first let's say that the wait time was listed at 40 minutes.
Yep. Well, the next tour, because you're going in a tour. Of this whole area, and so it said 40 minutes. I think we only waited about 20, but it seemed like 40. Oh gosh, it seemed like 40.
It seemed like an eternity.
It was such a long wait. This is one, if you have Express Pass, use it wisely, because they only had to wait basically the same time. If they walked in at the same time as us, they waited.
It's all about timing when the next show is going to go. So you don't want to walk in 40 minutes before the next show starts. You're going to want to
don't do that.
Do other things outside. But then if you wait in this big long queue, there's different chambers. It reminds me kind of the Ariel Journey of the Little Mermaid queue, and the fact that there's like what?
I get you. Ariel.
I said something else. Ariel. I said Ariel.
Almost. It was close.
No, it's fine. Reminds me of the Ariel queue. How's that?
Yes. We'll just go with that. So
all right.
You get there, and that's okay. Well, let's just skip to the.
Anyway,
get rid of the queue.
To this.
The queue's pretty.
It is pretty.
It's dark. It's pretty. Let's move on.
Okay, fine.
So we go into the room where we meet our tour guide.
It was a chamber, like an old...
Yes, an old chamber.
An old, like, because you're in Greece.
Yes.
You've been excavating all these things, and you found this weird, like, temple chamber. All right? And then there's this little dork that comes out of the ceiling. He's like, his name's Tyler. And he's like this archaeologist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the doctor is...
What is he?
What's the tour guide's name?
Tyler.
Tyler?
Yeah, because I made a joke. It could be a boy or a girl.
Okay, yeah, that's
Taylor.
Taylor.
Sorry, yeah, Taylor. So Taylor comes out of the ceiling, and he's like doing this shtick about how he's like been working in this like tomb, whatever.
With the doctor.
With the doctor, but the doctor went missing, so he's going to start the tour for you.
Yeah.
All right. So then you're like, oh God, I was really hoping for the doctor, but whatever.
The doctor would have been a lot better, because then he does this bumbling act where he's picking up lights, and then all the lights go out, and there's a curse
and then he automatically has a black light for some reason.
He has a black light.
He found a black light.
And then he shines it around the room, and it ends up being like this incantation to bring back the Dark Lord, who can only be defeated by Poseidon.
That's exactly what it is.
And Poseidon, not just Poseidon, specifically Poseidon's
his trident.
His trident.
Yeah.
Not the gum.
Well, I think 4 out of 5 dentists.
4 out of 5 dentists recommend that Poseidon should defeat bad tooth decay with trident. Yeah. But in this case, the trident, the stick with the 3 ends.
The pitchfork.
The pitch, yeah.
Whatever.
The thing you see it in Gladiator, Ben-Hur.
Or Little Mermaid.
Or Little Mermaid.
It's a thing.
So he reads off the incantation.
And that was bad news. He should never have done it. And then what happens?
And then the Dark Lord rises.
The lights go out. Everyone gets horrified.
And there's no way out. But the Dark Lord, just you know, he's got a good heart deep down.
I don't think so.
He wants you to make it out of there.
He's trapping you in there.
He's trapping you in
Yeah.
there. Well, not unfortunately. Unfortunately for us, who have to actually take part in the attraction, you move into another room. So fortunately for the people who are enjoying it.
It's this constant struggle of, oh no, there's no way out of here, and then a door opens. And you think, well, if that door opened the whole time, then we had a way out. So every chamber you move into, they say, oh god, there's no way out, and then something opens.
But you don't know that there's...
I'm just saying.
How are you to know that you're even going to be able to get out of that next place?
That's movie magic, I guess.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you move into the next one, and you go into these, like, this tiered room where it goes all the way.
Oh, wait, I think we missed the best part.
What part?
When you leave the first chamber, the doors open, right? Am I getting the order wrong?
You're getting the order wrong.
Oh, then never
mind.
mind.
Not that one.
You don't miss
This
anything.
Is the next one's where you walk in and it's kind of like a tomb, and there's the
With a lady.
skeletons on the side. And,
okay. Yeah, you're right.
And I mean, basically nothing worthwhile happens in this point, except all of a sudden this terrible video starts playing in the top screen.
And it's tiny. For a group of what, about 45 to 50 people, would you say?
I would say 50 to 60.
Okay, 50 to 60 people. This video is probably the size of a dinner plate projected on the wall. So you're looking at this tiny woman talking, and you can barely see what she's doing. But
and my best description of it is like she's wearing Egyptian gear kind of, but she looks like Jane Curtin in Coneheads whenever she's making like the gross face. Like
she does.
And it's just...
She's got like fabric hanging down from her head. She also kind of reminded me of Angelica Houston from Captain Neo, just in that kind of weird outfit, right?
Even like a Catherine Hepburn.
Catherine Hepburn?
Yeah,
Catherine O'Hara? Anyway.
She's terrible. I guess we forgot to part I can't even remember his name. Can you look it up on Wikipedia, the Dark Lord?
Okay, I will
really
do my
quick?
best.
Yeah, look it up really quick. But he also interjects it and kind of reiterates that there's no way out.
And he's got this like nasty, like really low voice, and he's supposed to scare you, but he sounds cheesy.
No, he's like a B villain.
Yeah.
A B movie villain that you would expect to see at like Sci-Fi Dine-In on the big screen, like Dr. Zulek or something in his name. Like it's just terrible. So dinner plate lady, she's up there. But here's where the grand reveal comes in. She lets you know that you have to find that trident.
She tells you what you need to do to fix this whole situation and get out of this ride. Yeah.
She tells you. So all of a sudden, these two doors open up, and revealed
the best part of the attraction.
Arguably.
A spinning circular tube of water.
It's a water tunnel.
A water tunnel is what you could call it if you had words.
I mean, water is being projected so fast around this tube that it's like you're going through this swirling water. I don't even know the best way to describe it. It's almost like if Moses parted the seas, but then it was still going up and around you and under you.
It's unbelievable.
And you think like, oh, I'm gonna walk through, I'm gonna be fine, I'm not gonna get wet, and then it's water's falling on you. Of course, they can't do that.
We all had our cameras under our shirts. It was, I mean, we were worried for our lives.
I had the Google Glass on, and I'm like, oh, God, $1,500 down the drain because of a water tunnel.
Of Poseidon's fury is what it would have been.
It was Poseidon. But
I found the name, and I feel like it's worse than I could have imagined.
Well, okay, Poseidon's not mad at us.
You don't want to know the name of the bad guy?
What was it?
Darkanon. the bad guy's name is Darkanon.
Sounds like a support.
It's really bad.
Okay, Darkanon.
Darkanon.
So then we move into the final room, which seems like another really closed-off chamber.
Oh, this
really
was amazing.
Tight, compact. And I'll let you go.
Okay, so you're in this room, and it's just like every other chamber that you thought you were never going to get out of. And there's like tiered standing room, and so you're standing at this thing, and there's this kind of, something's very up close. There's kind of like this weird eye thing. And then Taylor's talking, and all of a sudden, the room, it goes pitch black, and everyone kind of screams, and then you open your eyes, and you're in this huge chamber with statues and waterfalls, and
specifically a statue of
Poseidon, the god of water.
Yeah.
Right?
God of the seas.
Of the seas.
Yes.
Yeah. So then you're in this big thing, and then the best part, well, I already said the best part was the water tunnel, which I agree with. However, the second best thing is these water screens come down, So imagine, kind of, I know I keep comparing it to things I shouldn't, but on Pirates they do a projection on the fog. So it's very similar to that, but this is a water screen.
Well,
maybe Phantasmic?
Yeah, this is very Phantasmic watercolor.
Sure.
And this has been around since the park opened in '99, so I know Phantasmic's been around a lot longer, but it's the same type of technology, projecting on water screens. And I mean, it looks really good. However, everything about the actors, the costumes.
I think that they were trying to save money and they filmed it in someone's garage with costumes they bought at Party City. This is what imagine. So Poseidon and Diagon.
But before we get to Poseidon, Diagon.
Oh, it's just Diagon.
Diagon is just purely pissed off at Taylor for wanting to save the day.
I mean, poor Taylor.
Yeah, I mean, he's just an expedition guide. Kind of. He's not even an expedition guide. He was thrust into this role without wanting to be in
Well, he
there.
read the incantation, so technically it's all his fault. So I don't feel that bad.
So Diagon's all pissed off and trying to go after him, and shooting fire effects across, and then water shooting up in the air, and it's just terrible. And finally, Taylor decides that he needs to just stand up for himself and save the day.
He finally did.
He needs to give that trident to Poseidon to bring him to life.
Yeah.
And what
I remember now. So he had the crazy task of climbing up this mountain and climbing up to the Poseidon statue and placing the trident right back in his hands.
It was easily 6 to 7 stairs.
I think it was 7 stairs. I think it was 7 stairs.
It was a climb.
I mean, but good for him. I mean, he did it.
Oh yeah, he did.
And then the amazing part happened. Poseidon, the garage filmed version of Poseidon, comes up on the screen and they duel. They fight it out. And oh God, I've never seen special effects so great.
I mean, Poseidon's shooting water one way and Diagon is shooting fire, and then Poseidon sends the fire back to Diagon.
Lots of fire. I think they end up punching each other. I think they resort to punching.
Well, they're hitting each other. Trident, or Diagon has his staff, and Poseidon has the trident, and they're fighting. But it's like this. It's kind of like Star Wars Episode 4 lightsaber fighting before they kind of knew how well to do it. So it's very slow, very timed out, and just absolutely.
I mean, the choreography is amazing. Yeah. You don't agree? You've seen better?
I'm sorry, I do agree. But okay, to make a long story short,
we're gonna talk we talked 15 minutes on this ride.
But it's that bad.
Yeah, it is really bad.
But of course, Poseidon wins. He has to.
Well, it's funny you say Zeus because the old story was Atlantis and Zeus versus Poseidon, which would have been amazing.
Yeah, but
oh well.
Hey,
we get Diagon.
Things changed. Diagon was pretty awesome. So Poseidon wins and he lets us all free, and that's it. And then you're left with thinking that was the past however many minutes of my life.
For us, it was probably close to 35, including the queue and the show.
Sadly enough, yeah.
I'll do it again, on a slow day.
Oh no, here's where the classic distinction comes in. It literally was so bad, but we were just looking at each other. That was my first time doing it too.
Well,
I mean,
I think the funniest part was I was super into it. Even after the dinner plate lady, I was really feeling how adventurous it was. I was really into it until we were in the last room, and then Diagon showed up on that screen, and I audibly went, "Oh my God!" I said it out loud. It was that bad.
But it's in its own tier of attractions. I hate to say it's worth $95 to get into Universal to do it. Go do that in The Wizard and World of Harry Potter.
Then you're sold, yeah.
Just go and do that. That's all you need. Forget about Spider-Man, all that other good stuff. That's really it.
All you need is Poseidon's Fury.
Yeah. So that is our top pick for So Bad It's Good.
Exactly, yeah.
But going along with that, there's also times where things can be so bad that they're also just
awful,
plain bad.
Yeah.
And whenever we were kind of researching for this and going to these attractions, we had a select few in mind about what were the ones that were so bad that they might be good. And I mean, there's ones like Sinbad, the stunt show that's right beside Poseidon's Fury. Everyone knows that that's terrible. I've never seen it. It sounds terrible whenever you're walking past. It can't be good. I've never seen anyone walk out smiling saying Sinbad, that's the greatest thing ever. So if anyone can correct me in this and they like Sinbad, go ahead and do it. I would love to hear about it. And eventually I'll do it and get to it. But then two of them came to mind where I'll just flat out say it. A lot of people do enjoy Beetlejuice and Disaster, a major motion picture ride starring you.
So we went into these two thinking that they were going to end up on our So Bad It's Good list.
Yeah.
Because we've heard that they were enjoyable to some people.
Yeah.
We knew that they involved some of our favorite actors of film and screen.
Wow. Oh, I'm just jumping ahead.
Well, there you go.
I've done Christopher Walken.
Hey.
No.
I hope it was enjoyable for you.
I've done Disaster before.
Sure.
I don't know why I'm just all over the place.
You're too
right
excited
now,
about it. Yeah, it's okay.
I've done Disaster before, and I thought I enjoyed it the first time around.
Yeah.
But anyways, well, I think we should start with Beetlejuice.
Let's start with Beetlejuice because this is a show, a stage show where you sit in a theater. And actually, I was familiar with it because of the Rocky Horror show that they do during Halloween Horror Nights. So I kind of was familiar with the seating, this is stage and everything.
Yeah.
And I went into it kind of excited because I do enjoy the Rocky Horror Picture Show that they do during Halloween.
Yeah, but in Beetlejuice, before the show, he's out talking to people and he's doing photo opportunities, and he nails Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice.
And I think we both need to say that we both love the movie Beetlejuice.
Oh yeah, no, I
went into this with high hopes.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
It's one of Tim Burton's best movies, and the actor that plays Beetlejuice does a great job of playing Beetlejuice.
This was awful. That was just awful. First of all, they only have 2 songs licensed. And one of them is Sweet Dreams by Annie Lennox, or the Eurythmics. I don't know which one it is.
It's a monster mashup. So they pick songs and they do mashups of it. And before, it was just like the old show, like they had like Living on a Prayer, and so You Shook Me All Night Long was a part of it. But it starts off with Beetlejuice, like picking up, I mean, there's going to be a picture up there, but it's in the back of the one in between us. Beetlejuice picks up these shrunken heads and, it starts into Shake Senora Shake. And
I kind of got excited because I like the movie.
That would have been great. But instead, it goes 360 from that and then goes into some of the worst songs in the world.
Oh, I don't want to criticize the songs. I like the songs by themselves. However,
you like What Does the Fox Say or whatever?
No.
You like that song?
I don't think they did that.
It was in there.
Okay, I didn't.
It was in there.
Okay, I thought they did the Harlem Shake.
No, they didn't do it. They did the Harlem Shake.
Okay, I got the songs. Okay, anyway. But I do like some of the songs they covered. But first of all, they only had like 2 or 3 that they paid the rights to. So they sang those songs, crappy songs. I'll say it. Fine. And then the characters are weird. So you have Frankenstein. You have the Bride of Frankenstein.
The Wolfman, you have Dracula, and then
you have Cleopatra. But then the best of all of them is this weird Phantom of the Opera character that they've made up to turn into a woman named Fantasia. Who is that? It's just a weird woman
she was kind of the boob lady.
She was the boob lady. That's what I was going to say with other words.
I mean, she was in. I want to stress it. They're pretty good at singing. These people aren't completely untalented, especially the Cleopatra. She was my favorite. Yeah. Well, of course.
Okay. So
the sassy black lady singing was not your favorite.
All right, let's move on.
Okay.
Yeah, but yes, of course, I loved her. She was a very good singer, but I don't know. It was just so weird. It was like thrown together and. Oh, it was just awful. I kept wanting it to end.
I think Rocky Horror should be there year-round. I
think it should be, too.
It wouldn't make sense, but it's not good. There's nothing good about it. I don't like the songs that they chose for it. I know you've said it multiple times now. You like the songs, but I don't like the songs.
Looking back on it, I kind of only really like Sweet Dreams. What else did they sing?
Oh my gosh. It's only been 2 days.
I know, but I blocked it so far. They did this like fake out where you think they're going to start singing Thriller, but obviously they don't have the money to pay for Thriller, so they stop and they're like, Trick Jar or something. I don't even know what he says.
Oh, they did Ballroom Blitz. That's why I've been singing it constantly. And then the guitars. That's the part that frustrates just the bejesus out of me, that both Beetlejuice and Frankenstein have guitars with no strings on it. It's like, come on. Props. Even if you sit in the back row, which we did, you can still tell that there's no strings on it. I mean, at least Beetlejuice's you can't even, because it's all twist and tied. Like,
and the other part is he was pretending to DJ, so he had like these vinyl records, but like the turntables were like at angles.
Well, that was Fantasia's DJ booth.
No, I'm sorry, Beetlejuice. Wow. Sorry. I'm getting so passionate about Beetlejuice. He picked up a record and stuck the record vertically on the wall, and it played. Oh, it's stupid. I can't handle this.
It was bad. It was bad,
Yeah.
but I think that was actually the worst. But the other one, as we already said, Disaster, a motion major picture starring you.
The full title is
ride.
Disaster, a major motion picture ride, ... starring you.
Yeah.
To make you excited about this whole process. And that's the best thing about this ride.
Christopher Walken is kind of, well, no, your real host is, what did we decide on, Lonnie?
Oh, Lonnie. So he's like this assistant director thing, and yeah.
But they're all, we had one that was very exuberant.
Yeah.
And that's all we'll say about that.
Yeah.
He did a good job, actually.
He was good at what, I mean, yeah, he was. So there you go into this thing where you're in a big pre-show, and then they choose these actors because you're going to be part of the movie. It's starring you in a new motion picture Disaster.
From Disaster Studios.
From Disaster Studios by Frank
Kincaid.
Frank Kincaid is Christopher Walken's character.
Yes.
First, I have to say that this was created in 2008, but it looks like it's been around since 1991.
The Disaster uses the old Earthquake ride, so I mean that's where the ending comes into place. It's
Sure.
But
honestly, that was the best part for me.
This re-theming, well, yeah, that's all anyone wants.
I wish you could just walk into that, dude.
That literally should be all it is, but instead they decided they needed to do this whole, we're gonna make a movie out of you, kind of like Backlot style, where first we're gonna pick some people to scream, and then we're gonna pick an old lady, and then we're gonna pick a young kid, and then we're gonna pick a hunk and all that stuff.
Sure.
And so then they get everyone in there, and then they move them into the next sound stage, and that's whenever there's all these green screens set up and like tiny props. And
well, even before then, right? Don't you get to go to
that?
This is the cool part. So this is where this was one of the most cool technological things. Is they have this cool holographic projection where Frank Kincaid goes on these projections, and he walks on the stage, kind of interacting with Lonnie, our live action director's assistant.
Yeah.
So it's cool the way that they can interact. They walk around each other. You know, I guess Lonnie's always behind him, but
he's beside/behind him.
It's nice. It's cool projection technology.
Oh, the technology is amazing. Except it's also Christopher Walken at his most stereotypical self.
Yeah.
Like he's playing himself up.
He is.
And to a point that it's almost unbearable. Like I don't even know.
I just love that we still have him up on the screen.
I'm leaving him up there.
No, he's great.
We don't.
Wow. Oh my God, he's here.
He's in this room. Very special guest, Christopher Walken. That's not Dustin at all.
Yeah,
it's a disaster.
Wow.
I mean, he runs you through that you're going to be making a disaster movie. It costs lots of money to do, and unfortunately, time is money.
I learned that.
They're very much out of it. So we got to pick a bunch of people from the audience, and we got to make them part of the movie. And
they're filming shots at the same time. I mean, there's no time to even. It's just a mess. I mean,
6 minutes to do 6 pickup shots.
I mean, basically, we learned that Christopher Walken is horrible at time management. I mean, he just has no skills.
Frank Kincaid's a terrible director. He's made a lot of great movies, including like I think he actually invented the original Sharknado before that was actually a thing.
It would fit with his Disaster
Studios. He's made a lot of terrible ones, but anyways, they all go into this room and they set everyone up and they film these scenes, and it's
hokey and it's fun. I mean, if your family member's up there, you're gonna like it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm sure you'll like it. Yeah. But so they do all that. They don't really explain, but then Christopher Walken. He jumps in to let you know, like, oh, in the audience, you do this part where you're like all waving, like, oh, that stinks.
Something stinks.
And so he's like, wow, you guys, you did such a great job. We're going to put you into the movie now as extras.
Which is a surprise for everyone. I mean, I think everyone was delighted.
Oh, heck, I was surprised. Yeah. I couldn't have been more plumb happy about it.
Yeah,
so then the doors open behind you, and you get corralled into the next room, which is where the subway tram is.
Yeah, so this is kind of the main attraction for me. This was kind of the part where you're on a ride. You're going to go into a subway.
It's Earthquake.
It's Earthquake. It's
Earthquake.
Yeah.
In Hollywood, it's the part of the tram tour.
Exactly.
But here, it's its individual little subway car that you get into. Only 7 per row.
7 per row, and can I say that there was no grouping, so they just let you loose to sit in these rows, and then they corrected afterwards. So there was like fighting, and
there was families being split up.
Oh,
and, like
I think they're lost forever. I think that
but they pack these rooms so solid.
These rows,
that Well, the rows and the rooms,
and
like they have a certain amount of people in it. So if you don't think about splitting yourselves up, if you have 8 people in your party, you know, split up 4 and 4. If you do like, oh, we'll trick them, we'll get 8 people in a row. They literally don't say, "I'll take a couple people with you and go back." They're like, "We need one person to go to the last row."
They just rip you away.
And
children were taken from parents, and it was very sad.
It was very sad.
Yeah.
But so then, you know, then the assistant pickup cameraman,
Mr. Lonnie.
Mikey.
No,
Mikey.
the other guy, the camera guy.
Mikey.
So many characters.
He set you up. Like, hey guys, you're going into Subway for the final disaster part of it, and you know, just I'll be teaching. I'll be reading out things for you to do. So practice your screaming and your shocked face and all that. So it moves into a subway station and then just stops and. I mean, you're
just sitting there, and then you know that something's happening. An earthquake is coming. And then, like, water comes down from the subway stairwells. There's another car that almost crashes into you.
Well, a tanker truck comes down and sets everything on fire.
A blaze.
Yeah, and that's whenever the other subway car starts coming out of its subway hole, and then
I think that's what it's called.
Just starts wrecking all over the place, and everyone's making reactions. And then the pinnacle part of the ride is after all this happens. And if you're in the back part of the tram or the subway car tram, you don't get to see like anything. You see maybe like one thing of water come out.
That is true, yeah.
And that you can't see anything. It's terrible. But then as everything goes black and they're backing you out, you get to see the film that was being made. They edited it literally in like the trailer in about...
They're great. I mean, those team members.
10 seconds at most. They put it all together, and so you're backing out and you're watching the trailer for Mother Nature.
Oh yeah, we forgot the name of the movie.
We didn't even
the
talk
name
about
of this movie that you're filming is Mother Nature. Mutha.
Starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yeah, The Rock is in it. There was another person in it. I that's not helpful to anyone, but it was another celebrity.
But and then they show how like all the green screen scenes they filmed before and made
throw them in,
and it's terrible. Even if your family's in it, like you've got to be a little bit embarrassed.
It's mortifying. I mean, I would never want to be up there.
Like, and that's the worst part about it is people are like openly volunteering. Yeah, I want to be a part of it. I think if they knew the end product, they would not want to have anything to do with it. They would probably just go to another ride.
You're probably right.
So that's disaster.
Yeah,
a disaster in itself.
It is a disaster.
So those are the two, Beetlejuice and Disaster. We understand that some people like them, but they are just plain so bad it's bad.
It's true.
And but you know, I'm sure some people out there do enjoy it, and if you do enjoy it, let us know why, because I'd really like to pick your brain.
Maybe they can be a guest on our show to explain it.
Maybe one day we'll add it on to the guests that will never come.
One day.
It's like the guest of Christmas Pass.
Yeah.
So
I remember that one.
Let's wrap this thing up with announcing the winners.
The winners of what?
The winners of that stuff we were giving away a while ago.
You're so enthusiastic about this. You really care.
Oh yeah, we talked about the good stuff.
We did. The good stuff that's so bad it's good.
You know what? We're giving away free stuff. They should be happy.
We are. So like 5 months ago, we did a show about Cabana Bay.
That's eons for you and me, Russ.
Yeah. Good job. So anyway, we have this stuff, this swag we got, and one of them was a Cabana Bay baseball cap that was teal for ladies. Then there was a lollipop, right?
A lollipop with a re-sticker.
With a re-stickable sticker.
A re-sticker. No, just a re-sticker.
A re-sticker, but I feel like that's not clear enough.
They patented it, re-sticker.
All right. And then, what's the other thing? Oh, the best.
The Transformers.
The Transformers notepad that no one wanted.
But a lot of people
everyone actually wanted this. We made fun of it a lot, but everyone really wanted it. So we've chosen the winners. I will start with the lollipop with the re-sticker. This is from a YouTube comment, which I don't have the person's actual name, but their screen name is JavaMan42749.
Okay.
So congratulations, JavaMan.
Congratulations.
You will be getting a message from us.
Yes.
And how we can send you this wonderful lollipop.
Probably, with how we do it, probably in the next 6 to 10 business days.
Oh, I was going to say like 3 weeks.
Okay.
We'll send it.
That works.
No, I'm kidding. We'll be on time with this because I'm sure you're waiting for that lollipop.
Yeah.
Then the Cabana Bay hat, which was that beautiful. Beautiful.
Could have just brought them to re-show them.
I don't have them. I mean, they are locked away, I think, in someone's apartment. From Twitter, Nigel Whitehall.
Ooh,
So I think that he wants to give it to his significant lady friend.
that's fine.
So,
and he can wear it if he wants it.
oh, no
himself, too.
judging, no judging.
Yeah,
It's
not
good for
that
ladies
there's
and men.
anything wrong with that.
All right, thank you.
References.
Oh, references.
And the Transformers.
And the best
notepad.
thing is the Transformers pad.
Yes.
This goes to someone on Facebook. Actually, I believe I'm very excited actually because this person is in live chat. So she's one of the very special 70 people. And I apologize if I get this name pronounced incorrectly. But Kirsty Kiernut is the winner of the Transformers pad that everyone wanted. So she will be the talk of the town. Enjoy, Kirsty. For this Transformers notepad. You can give it to someone you love, or you could use it for your special notes, a diary.
I hope you have a large junk drawer, because that's right where this thing's going.
It's going in the garbage.
Going in there. No.
But anyway, congratulations, everybody. We'll be in contact through whatever you commented on. So
Yeah. So thanks for putting up with us this episode. I know it was long. It was difficult to get through, but we made it all together, and I feel like we now have a special bond between all of us for it.
About what?
Well,
I wasn't paying
the
attention.
bad stuff, the prizes. It's just we had a really special time today.
We did. Thank you, Mr. Rogers.
Thank you. So we'll be back
Okay.
in 2 weeks, and we'll be talking about something very, very secretive that we can't tell you about.
Yeah.
And so you'll just have
know.
to stay tuned for that. You don't need to know.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
so
that's good.
we'll see you next time.
It's not watchable anymore.
Hey, we'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for
Bye.
watching.